Comcast is one of the multi-billion-dollar companies that has spent millions of dollars lobbying to get the Title II net neutrality protections that we fought and won in 2015 repealed. And now these internet service providers are facing a huge backlash because of their greed, because they want to charge consumers more, and consumers know that these companies are horrible, but the reason why they're still in business is because they have monopolies in a lot of cities and municipalities. So if you don't like Comcast, you don't have a choice. I mean, for me, I've been a Comcast customer because I don't have a choice, and they just suddenly decided to impose these arbitrary data caps on my internet service. Now, as someone who my entire business is based online, I have to have more than a terabyte of data every single month. I upload, I download, and like everyone else, I stream Netflix and whatnot. So it's just frustrating that we don't have a choice.
You want me to give you the number of a different cable company that can... Oh, wait, we're it, aren't we?
But one small town had the opportunity to give Comcast a big fuck you, and that's exactly what they did. And they did it because they opted for an option that Comcast is terrified of: public broadband. And as John Brodkin of Ars Technica reports, a small Massachusetts town has rejected an offer from Comcast and instead plans to build a municipal fiber broadband network. Comcast offered to bring cable internet up to 96% of households in Charlemont in exchange for the town paying $462,123 plus interest toward infrastructure costs over 15 years, but Charlemont residents rejected the Comcast offer in a vote at a special town meeting Thursday. The Comcast proposal would have saved the town about $1 million, but it would not be a town-owned broadband network, the Greenfield Recorder reported Friday. The defeated measure means that Charlemont will likely go forward with the $1.4 million municipal town network, as was approved by annual town meeting voters in 2015. About 160 residents voted, with 56% rejecting the Comcast offer, according to news reports. Charlemont has about 1,300 residents and covers about 26 square miles in northwest Massachusetts. Town officials estimate that building a municipal fiber network reaching 100% of homes would cost $1.4 million plus interest over 20 years. An increase in property taxes would cover the construction cost, but the town would also bring in revenue from selling broadband service and potentially break even, making the project less expensive than Comcast's offer. With 59% of households taking broadband service, the tax hike would be 29 cents per 1,000 of assessed home value, similar to that for Comcast, a Recorder article last month said. But if 72% or more of households subscribe to the municipal-owned network, there is no tax impact because subscriber fees would pay for it. Currently, Comcast covers about 9.5% of Charlemont, while Verizon DSL is available in about 88%, according to estimates by Broadband Now. The town plans to charge $79 a month for standalone internet service with gigabit download and upload speeds and no data caps, though the price could rise to $99 a month if fewer than 40% of households buy the service. The town also plans to offer phone and TV service at rates cheaper than Comcast's.
How's it taste, motherfucker?
Now, what I love about this story is that this has got to scare the shit out of internet service providers like Comcast, like Verizon, because public broadband has essentially become a huge threat. But it's because of their decision to lobby for the repeal of net neutrality. Nobody would be talking about public broadband had they not repealed net neutrality, but this is what you wanted, and you inadvertently catalyzed this discussion and this movement, really, for public broadband. And these citizens in Charlemont know that if they opt for public broadband rather than Comcast, they control it, so they don't have to worry about arbitrary price hikes, the imposition of data caps randomly at Comcast's whim, and they actually do have recourse if they don't like the way that their service is being ran, because they control it, it's theirs. So I absolutely love this, and you have to understand that this is something that's entirely possible in your city as well, and it may be more likely than you think, because I actually had a conversation at a town hall with my representative And there were some city council members along with the county commissioner in my town that showed up, and I brought this issue to their attention. I talked about public broadband, and they were 100% down for it. And they actually gave me resources in terms of who to contact in my area to get the ball rolling on this. So it's a lot easier than you think, and now it's just a matter of me following up with them to get the ball rolling. And I'm pleasantly surprised that people around the country are kind of taking the initiative and going forward with public broadband. You know, I brought Ron Placone on the show to talk about public broadband, and he's someone who's trying to get public broadband in his area. And after that, a lot of people reached out saying, "You really inspired me to go and talk to my local city council about public broadband." And there are varying degrees of success. I mean, you may not have an easy time getting public broadband, but the thing is that you won't know unless you try. So for this town to adopt public broadband, when Comcast tried to come in and plant their flag in that town, to get them to reject Comcast, that's just really something that's brilliant, because in this town, Comcast had what I think it was 8.8% of a subscription rate. So the town did exactly what they should have done, because now, when the rest of the country has to deal with buying internet as packages years down the line, if we don't save net neutrality, and selling us the internet broken up, they don't have to deal with that. They just pay one fee for the totality of the internet because it's their internet. They own it. So I just had to share this story because I'm always inclined to share stories of anti-consumer greedy companies getting the middle finger, because it puts a smile on my face, because this is what they deserve. And companies like Comcast and Verizon, they absolutely deserve to go out of business. And the only reason why they haven't gone out of business is because they basically have a chokehold on the market. If you don't like Comcast or Verizon, odds are they're the only internet service provider in your area, or the only one that will offer you higher speed internet in your area, so you don't have a choice. But when given the choice, citizens reject these greedy companies, because we know that they're only in it to make not just a profit off of us, but exploit us as much as possible. So I absolutely love this, and I applaud this town for being bold and setting an example that the rest of the country will hopefully follow.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.